we're kind of in that middle season between fat bike season and regular mountain bike season. Trails are not rideable yet on dirt mountain bikes, regular mountain bikes, and then they're not rideable on a fat bike either. So I thought I'd do a bike check. I have a few bikes. That's one of my problems. I collect bikes apparently. But I thought I would start off with my Transition Spur, which is a bike that I've ridden a lot. It's a 2021 Transition Spur. I got it in August 21, size medium. I kind of lucked out getting it, you know, at the peak of the bike shortage fueled by the pandemic. It's a GX build, but I've made a lot of changes myself. The few things that are kind of stock on the bike, the frame, the rear shock is still the Sid, what's it called? Sid Lux Select Plus, and the fork is the Sid Select Plus as well. Those are the few things that are kind of stock on the bike. Pretty much everything else has been changed. The first significant upgrade I did was upgrade the wheels. I went with a set of Noble TR32s. Noble's a company out of BC, and again, I like supporting Canadian companies when I can. They are laced to dirty Industry 9 Industry 9 Hydra hubs in silver. You can see the silver a little bit better on the front wheel there. And I'm still running the stock tires, so I have a Recon 2.4 on the rear and a Dissector 2.4 on the front. And I'm waiting for the Recon to basically wear it. It's getting there. It's getting close. I'm probably going to put a Dissector on the back. And of course I am running tubeless. I have the stock Noble tubeless valve stems. Moving now to the cockpit. I did upgrade the stock bar to a 1-up carbon bar. I've been pretty happy with that. And I have an i9 A35 40 mil stem in silver to match my i9 Hydra hubs. I ride with ergon grips. I like the ergon grips. And in terms of the brakes, the GX build came with SRAM brakes. I've always been a fan of Shimano brakes and SRAM drivetrains, so I upgraded the brake, or maybe not upgraded, but swapped out the brakes anyways, to Shimano XT, and I got the 4-pots. I got the 4-pot XTs. The really nice thing about the Transition is it does have external routing for brake hoses, which I know, you know, some people might say that the external routing is ugly, but it makes it really easy to swap hydraulic brakes. On the saddle and seat post, the bike came with 150 mil 1-up dropper post. I swapped it out to 180 mil, which is the perfect height for me because I can drop the post all the way down the seat tube, and at full extension, it's at my preferred riding height, like exactly at my preferred riding height, so I lucked out in that way. And then I got an SQ Labs 611 saddle, really comfortable saddle. It's kind of funny looking, it's a little bit flat, but really comfortable saddle. Really like it, but they're hard to find. I'd like to get another one for another bike, but I'm having a hard time finding the exact same saddle. For drivetrain, as I mentioned, this is a GX build, but I upgraded GX Mechanical to SRAM Axis. So I have the fancy, oh, it's not woken up. There we go. I have fancy shifting, and I have to say I love, okay, I'm back in the right gear. I really like axis shifting. I know there's quite a few people on YouTube that have said it's not worth the money. But, you know, for me, I've found it flawless in the over a year now that I've ridden with it, and never had an issue with the batteries. I mean, I keep track of them. You can see your battery levels on the app, and so I check it every now and then, and if my battery levels look even remotely low, I'll just charge them. It's that easy. So I just haven't had a problem with it. Then on the crank, the Spur came with 175 mil cranks, and it's got a pretty low bottom bracket. So I found with the 175 mil crank, I was getting a lot of pedal strikes. So I swapped out for E13 carbon, I can't remember what the name of it is, carbon trail, I think, or something like that. But in a 165 mil. And it's helped a bit with the pedal strikes. I still have a few, or I've had a few, but I mean, that's inevitable with mountain biking. If you look at my crank arm boot, there's definitely some scuff up marks there, but it's better than it was with the 175. I'm not a very tall rider. I'm just under 5'8". So like a 165 is a good length for me anyways with my height. And then for pedals, I'm using Chromag Scarab pedals. I did switch to flat pedals last year, tried it out for a while, and I think I wouldn't say I'm 100% converted, but I'm sticking with it anyways. I do ride Shimano SPDs if I'm going to be clipped in, so I don't use crank butters. I go with Shimano SPDs, and usually I'd ride like an XT Trail or an XTR Trail pedal. I have my set of XPDs somewhere in my parts bin that would go on this bike if I was riding clipped in. Then the other thing I just wanted to talk about is what I carry on the bike. The Spur does have space for a water bottle, which is great. I don't like riding with a pack, with a camelback or anything like that. I do when I have to, but I don't like to. So it's good to have a water bottle cage. It also has the bolts for under the top tube for storage. So I have a Salsa, I think it's called an anything carry bag, something like that. That's bolted into the frame, and in there I have my tube and CO2 cartridge and inflator. That's all I carry in there. Up the front for tools, I have the 1UP EDC mini tool. So it's not the full EDC, but it's got, you know, the Allen keys and torque wrenches that I need. The steer tube length for my bike. If you have a RockShox fork, you have to be really careful with the steer tube lengths, because you have to have a minimum steer tube length for the EDC Mini, and I lucked out. I was able to get this installed properly. So it's handy having it here. And then this has the right sizes for me to be able to do this. Now, obviously this is not, I did this for this video, not, it's not like this when I'm riding, but my chain tool, because the EDC Mini doesn't have a chain tool, I have a Granite Designs chain tool in my bar end, and it has a place, I'm not going to take it out, but it has a place to carry a quick link as well, and then it's got a chain tool, so it fits at the end of my handlebar. But yeah, my EDC tool has the right size to pull the grip off, and then it also has the right size to pull the chain tool out, so that has been quite convenient for me. They also have one that goes in the bar that has tire plugs, and I was thinking about putting it in the other bar end, but I don't have it right now. I'm gonna jinx myself, but I've never used a tire plug since running tubeless, and I've been running tubeless for several years. I've never had that type of a puncture where a tire plug would actually work for me. It's either been small enough that the sealant has plugged it, or it's so bad that I've had to replace the tire. So now that I've said that, I'm almost certainly going to get a puncture this year that I need a tire plug, and I just won't be prepared. Maybe I can put tire plugs in the salsa bag. I probably could do that. Anyways, I've been really happy with this bike. I love this bike for Southern Ontario. It's long, low, and slack. It's got I think a 450 mil reach, which I'm getting really comfortable with. 66 mil head tube angle. So pretty slack for 120, 120. I know a lot of bikes that have come out since the Spur might even be going a little bit slacker, but pretty slack. And then the seat tube angle is at 76.5 degrees, I think. So it's a pretty nice upright and forward climbing position. So I find the bike very comfortable to climb. And yeah, perfect bike for Southern Ontario trails. Slack enough that you can take it on some rowdier stuff, but like I've taken this on the heights of Horseshoe downhill. On trails like that, I would certainly prefer to have more travel, but there was a day I was up at Copeland and Heights of Horseshoe, and this is the bike I had, and I didn't find it sketchy because of how slack it is and how long it is. So I found it worked fine. And yeah, really happy with this bike. I am sure you will be seeing it in a lot of videos to come. I do have a couple of other bikes. I have a new bike this year, which I haven't ridden on any video yet. Haven't unveiled it on the channel, so we'll have to wait and see. But that one's an exciting one. It's a bigger bike. It's a longer travel bike than this. So I'll be using it hopefully in some more aggressive trail systems in Ontario. And if I get to travel this year, that'll certainly be the bike I bring. Anyways, if you have any questions on my build or parts or anything like that, leave them in the comments. And happy pedaling, everyone, and I'll see you out there.